Gentlemen, we present Kenneth Williams, Hugh Paddock and Joan Sims in...
Stop messing about. Hello, welcome. I don't care what anyone says, I'm going to come out with it. I am going to say it, yes. Kenneth Williams is brilliant. Well, no one else says it round here. They don't realise the immensity of my potential. They don't. After all, I am your actor of some calibre.
Hello, Ken.
Hello, Ken.
Oh, hello. What's the suitcase for?
Well, we're going away for the weekend together.
Oh, brazen with it.
Not that sort of weekend. There's a party of us.
Oh, that sort of weekend.
Not at all. For one thing, my mother will be coming.
So you see, there's... You never told me that.
Hard luck, mate. It's going to be that sort of weekend.
Oh, she's been dying to meet you. I've told her all about you, how handsome and suave and charming you are.
Joan, you naughty girl slap. Oh. It's wicked to tell lies to your mummy.
I must say, Joan, I did expect us to be alone together, on our own together. Alone, so to speak.
Oh, that's going to cramp your style.
Well, frankly, yes. There's nothing worse than having one's style cramped.
Oh.
Especially in a romantic city like Paris.
Oh, Paris. Oh, Paris. Oh, I love it. I go there all the time. Oh, I do. I'm a regular parasite. As I walk along the boulevard with my independent air.
Didn't know you wore a wig.
Oh! Wig, you see, independent air. Oh, how'd you act your bon mot?
Bon mot. Mot, as in coup de grace.
Well, Hugh, Hugh, dear, if you want me to, I can put my mother off.
You have that effect on most people.
If you did, Joan, I'm sure that we could enjoy each other. Enjoy ourselves much more.
Oh, it's all so romantique.
Darling, je vous aime beaucoup.
Darling, je vous aime, Hugh, too.
Oh, Joan.
Oh, Hugh.
Oh, mother. If you're listening, take a word of advice. Go with them.
Pardonnez-moi, monsieur.
Well, not you and all. Just make the announcement in English, Douglas.
Now, as the cast seem to be feeling a little French this week, we now bring you Cracker Jaconerie with Mother à la Française. So, here, draped in a tricolore, with a clove of garlic tucked in an embonpoint, ici, jolie Madame Maud Nethersol.
Bonjour, mes petites, et mes grandes aussi. Which means, of course, good day, my littles, and my bigs also. Anyway, here is a thrilling tale of the French underground, that vast secret organization in which hundreds of tourists get lost every year. Once there was a porter called Pierre, who longed to be a great artist and starved to death in a garret. The trouble was, he couldn't find a model who'd pose for him in the nude. They all insisted he put on his clothes before he started painting. So off he went to Gay Montmartre, where the girls were dancing an energetic can-can, with many cries of, "Oh la la!" and "Ouch!" Pierre thought he saw a vacant stool at the bar, so he sat down. Then he quickly got up and said, "Oh, pardonnez-moi, Monsieur Lautrec." Was his Moulin Rouge. Beaucoup. So was Monsieur Lautrec's. Not that you could see it, because his broad-brimmed hat was pushed right down over his pince-nez, and he stormed off into the night like an angry mushroom. Then something caught Pierre's eye. It was a flying garter, which had landed in his glass of Pernod. "By the feather of my aunt," he cried, "this could make a sequel to the Mona Lisa." And he did a quick thumbnail sketch on his thumbnail. And that's how he became the first of the French Impressionists. But as they say in France, bonjour tristesse, which means, of course, oh, very well, but I'll hate myself in the morning. But now, So, here's one they sing in the evening on the Promenade des Anglais, where tourists wander up and down hoping to pick up a little je ne sais quoi, and quite often they do. Bonsoir, monsieur, comment allez-vous? If vous allez that way, then I'll aller too. We'll walk dans le bois, we'll sit sur le herbe, and I'll teach to you an irregular verb. Vous pensez, monsieur, our customs are strange, so I will expliquer the rate of exchange. Pardonnez, monsieur, though England expects, I cannot exchange any traveller's checks. Au revoir, monsieur, how tragic, mon cher, that you must retourner to old Angleterre. It touches my heart that I'm, as you say, a très joli morceau of homework français. Olé!
So we come to our regular feature, Feeble Fables, stories with a moral.
Well, I hope it's better than last week's A Bird in the Hand is Bad Table Manners.
Our story with a moral this week is set in a time of trouble for Britain. Can we have some prisoner of war music, please?
With knobs on. My name is Belcher. I was always getting out. One way or another. I'd been arrested on a false charge and placed in solitary in Stalag 17. I had appealed, of course, and waited now to hear those magic words.
Belcher, pardon granted.
3 months later, I was sitting in the hut when the door opened and Godfrey came in. He was another camp prisoner. He took a deep breath, squared his massive shoulders, and said,
Hello. Here, I just had this letter from our girl back home. It says, Dear Godfrey, I couldn't wait for you, so I've married your father. Love, Mother.
Oh, don't take it too hard, old boy.
I can't stand any longer. I can't take any more. The loneliness, the boredom, the waiting is driving me mad. I'm telling you, mad. I'm going out of my mind. I'm going stark raving mad.
Godfrey, you can't break down now.
Hold on a minute. I've got another bit to do yet here. Trust you to interrupt. Right in the middle of my histrionics. That's when I was getting worked up. Almost had me Oscar in me grasp. Ruined the opportunity.
I'm frightfully sorry.
All right. Mad, I tell you, mad. Now you.
Thank you. Godfrey, where's your stiff upper lip?
Right here, above my soft, flabby lower one. Oh dear, Second World War sketch with jokes from the same period.
Dicky Bird.
What do you mean, Dicky Bird?
Well, I haven't said one for the last 2 pages.
Now it's jokes from the First World War. Listen, dear, you wait nicely like a good little girl until your big entrance. Up through a tunnel, under the floorboards. I mean, you've got a couple of nice things.
Pardon?
Later on in the script. So let's get back to it. The script.
Achtung, Achtung!
Bless you.
This is your Oberleutnant speaking. There have been too many escape attempts in recent weeks. If this state of affairs continues, we shall be forced to cut off your privileges.
These nasty Nazis, they'll stop at nothing.
Godfrey, look! The floorboards are splintering. Someone must have dug a tunnel and come up underneath our hut.
Hello, boys.
Oh, good Lord, it's a waif.
What's that stand for, by the way?
In my case, woman always available for.
Always available for what?
You have been away for a long time. I'm sorry, my dear, but if you've escaped from the woman's camp over the road, you've come the wrong way.
Oh, that's what you think. Kiss me, you handsome, young, virile hunk of man.
But he's not young, handsome, and virile.
No, but I've been away from home a long time, too.
Godfrey, do you realise what this girl can do for us?
Come off it. I haven't been away from home all that long.
I mean our escape plan.
Oh.
Yes, she can distract the guard in the searchlight tower while we cut the lead and put the searchlight out of action.
It's not only tired old jokes this week, it's tired old plots as well. It's a dead nick straight out of the cold it story, isn't it?
Later that night, I climbed the ladder up to the top of the searchlight tower.
Gott in Himmel, Donner and Blitzen, Simon and Garfunkel. It's a woman.
You speak English?
I have to. They can't do subtitles on radio.
I am here to captivate you. Do you realize that beneath this greatcoat, I am wearing only my underwear? One RAF issue vest, woolly, and one pair bloomers, Winciette, large, other ranks for the use of. There. Doesn't that drive you into a frenzy?
Achtung, my searchlight has gone out. It must be mended. I will call the maintenance team. Hans Schmidt, Hans Kruger, Hans Sternberg, Hans Dietrich, quickly, repair the searchlight.
And by now I'm sure you all have worked out the moral of this week's story. So all together, please. 1, 2, 3.
Many hands make light work.
Problem Corner. And to tell us that things are worse than we thought, here is our Problem Man of the Week.
My name is Clarence J. Mousepartner, but I'm not really myself today.
Then who are you?
I haven't finished. Not really myself, due to an upsetting incident the other night at Hackney Wick Public Baths. You see, I was deprived of a very meaningful possession.
Not your...
No,
Mine often slip off when I dive.
no, not them. No, my season ticket. Torn up before my very face it was. And I was forbidden the premises.
But what had you done? Tried to sail a rubber duck?
No, you see, I'm one of those rare individuals who do things better underwater.
Rare? You must be unique.
Not at all. Far from it. There are many like myself who find are more at ease when totally submerged. People trying to give up smoking, for instance.
That's true.
Yes. And speaking as a designer of ladies' knitwear.
I didn't know you were.
Oh, yes, I am. And last summer, I found I did it much better underwater.
Really?
Yeah. Whilst practicing underwater swimming at Bude, I had this sudden flash.
Pardon?
Flash. Sudden flash. Of inspiration. I was having a little rest on the bottom and pondering on a new design when suddenly it all come to me. I had a vision of this gusset with a lock-stitch invert in the...
Yes, that's correct. To return to Hackney Wick Baths.
Oh, well, it got so expensive traipsing down to Bude every time I wanted to create a new mode, so I started dropping in at my local baths.
Well, very sensible.
I'd sit for hours in the deep end with my underwater ballpoint and my waterproof jotting pad. But the other night I realised I had forgotten something.
Your snorkel?
Oh, worse than that. You see...
Yes?
Well, Friday night's is ladies' night.
Time now for our song spot. Once again, we bring you the maxi-length Harris male voice choir.
It's Boner to open up your ear and sing.
It's Boner to hear the Omi voices ring.
In harmony.
Oh, hello!
Hello, welcome. I love to see the old Boner faces, isn't it, no? Oh, a special hello to Mrs. Winifred Hoist of Balmoral View, Crouch End.
Hello, Win Love.
Louder, she might be up the garden. Louder.
Hello, Win Love at the garden. I sent you them photos you was asking about.
You haven't?
No, not them, the other ones. No. Well, I only hope they won't arrive looking all bent.
They was looking all bent when they left. Time you finished packing them up. And what was it you wrote beside the stamp? It wasn't first class mail, was it?
No, it wasn't.
So what was it?
First class homies.
You great Nelly!
Excuse me.
Oh, I thought you'd wandered off into the lift and got sent up.
In present company, who needs a lift?
Oh! Me, Miss Quick as a Flash, knife thrower's assistant.
Later, perhaps.
Oh!
Right now, I'd like to know what you're going to sing.
Well, Chuck, lots of fans have written in with suggestions.
Loads of suggestions.
But in the end, we settled for a little bit of Fred chopping.
Fred shopping, lovely fella Fred.
Fred.
Oh, you heard about his friend?
I presume you're referring to the famous novelist Georges Sand.
There you are. You didn't believe me, did you? He had a friend called George. He's just like you. Friend George.
I must point out that Georges Sand was a lady novelist. It was a very stormy relationship.
Oh, just the same with me.
Same with him, it was. Same with him.
Exactly the same.
Same with him.
Went off and joined the Merchant Navy, my George did.
I think you'd better sing.
Can't suit yourself. Don't want the biography.
Frederick would often play a polonaise
On his piano.
and he'd keep on playing it for days and days.
On his piano.
His lady friend kept hoping that the tune would end. She often used to shout, "Oh, Fred, belt up!"
In a ladylike manner.
When Frederick played louder than he had before,
She gave a bellow.
off she went and opened up her bottom drawer.
Took out a cello.
Then, if you please, she put the thing between her knees. Then she'd play an overture by Brahms.
As an Ivan Novello.
Frederick, he nearly went berserk, he did.
Fred was a worker.
Bashed his head against the piano lid.
Made him berserker.
Said something rude, and then he played a loud etude. And after that, he went out and got a list.
And they did a berserker. They could have berserkered all night. They could have berserkered all night.
Hold on!
What's the matter?
How come Frederick's dancing with Liszt?
Well, what do you expect from a fella with a girlfriend called George?
Now it's time for the Smith's Report. But first, here are the news headlines. In a London street today, a bank messenger was held up by a man holding a gun hidden inside a bunch of flowers. The gunman was later arrested on a charge of robbery with violence. Which brings us to this week's main topic. The Smith Report investigates show business and poses the question, if all the world's a stage, where are the dressing rooms?
That's very good, isn't it? Robbery with violence. It's funny now, isn't it? Robbery with violence.
To continue. We talked in the street to some people who are actually in show business.
Well, yes, I am, actually, yes. I used to be a talent scout for Ralph Reeder. Yes, again, I used to go around looking for talented scouts. Now I work for a strip club and I go around scouting for talent. I've just discovered a beautiful girl with a fantastic figure. Her vital statistics are 52, 23, 35.
But what can she actually do?
Well, with a bit of help, she can sit up.
I worked in a
the circus for nearly 40 years, and now my elephant has died. There it is, dead. Oh, I'm very upset.
Oh, were you very fond of Jumbo?
No, but I'm the one who's got to bury him.
My name is Fatima, and I'm a belly dancer. I'm really very good, but then I went to a very good school of belly.
So much for the opinions of people in show business, but what are the views of the ordinary man?
Theatre these days is all smut, filth and nudity. They've gone as far as having nude scenes in Romeo and Juliet. They'll be having them in pantomimes next. I mean, can you imagine a nude widow twanky? Mind boggles. And look at this musical called Hair. Half the time, that's all they've got on. And this other show, Pajama Tops. Lithe-bodied, full-bosomed... lithe-bodied... full-bosomed young women cavorting around in only a see-through nightie. Oh, if I had my way, I'd take it off.
One of the unsung heroes of show business is the stuntman. On the set of his latest film, Britain's leading stuntman was interviewed by Fife McFinger Exercise.
No, Mr. Baxter, I've been watching you rehearse. Yes, I've been watching you rehearse this very dangerous sequence that you'll be actually performing this afternoon.
Yes. It's dangerous. Jumping from a tank of water into the window of a burning building 200 feet below.
No, it's the other way around, actually.
So it is. Jumping 200 feet from a burning tank of water into the building of a window.
Mr. Baxter, I hope you won't mind me mentioning it, but are you drunk?
No. I'm paralytic.
And will you be in this condition when you make your death-defying leap?
Oh, I hope so.
Finally, the laughter makers. Are they as funny off stage as on? Does a comic still laugh when he comes home to find his wife in the arms of another man?
Oh, Amanda.
Oh, Roger.
Hello. Put that woman down. You don't know where she's been.
Charlie, I'm in love with Roger.
I was once in love with a beautiful girl. She was so bow-legged, she was a model for sugar tongs. I ain't got another one for you.
And I love Amanda. We're going to get married.
I always say marriage is like taking a bath. It's not so hot once you get used to it.
Charlie, Roger and I are going to get married.
Oh, I wouldn't do that if I were you. You'll be incompatible.
What do you mean?
Well, you've got no income and she's not patable. Everyone a gem.
Can't we talk this over like civilized people?
Certainly, I'll mix you a drink, what I call a lucky old sun cocktail. One of these and you'll roll round heaven all day.
Charlie, we've got to talk about the children.
Children, I love them. Some people can't bear them, neither can I. Take the second out. Now, here's your drink. Here's your drink. It's not a lucky old son, it's a David and Goliath. Two of these and you're stoned.
Listen, I'm running away with your wife. We're going abroad.
That puts me in mind of a little recitation. There was a young lady from France, decided that she'd take a chance. She let herself go for an hour or so, and now all her sisters are aunts. I'm cheery, I'll make very much
Oh, that does it, Roger. I'll go upstairs and get my suitcase.
Now there's a woman. What? Hasn't got a jealous bone in her body. Jealous fat she has. Her parents are in the iron and steel business. Her mother irons and her father's out of work a lot. I want to tell you. Now listen, folks.
I'm ready, Roger. Goodbye, Charles.
Goodbye, Amanda. And remember, if you can keep your head when all about are losing theirs, they'll be much taller than the others.
I shan't forget this, Charlie. The way you've treated this poor, unfortunate lady.
That was a lady. That was my wife.
was Stop Messing About with Kenneth Williams, Hugh Paddick, Joan Sims and the Max Harris Group. The script was by Myles Rudge and David Cumming and Derek Collier. The producer was John Simmons.
That's a double room with bath then, sir, if you'd care to sign here.
Thank you, yes. Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And in the morning, I'd like a pot of tea, the Times and the Telegraph.
And anything for your wife, sir?
Oh, yes. Have you got a postcard?
Ladies and gentlemen, we present Kenneth Williams, Hugh Paddick and Joan Sims in...
No, stop messing about. Hello and welcome. You'll be delighted to know that this week I am finally and definitely going to bring it out. So, yes, if you go round to your local booksellers...
Oh, no, you haven't written a book.
Yes, I have. And everything that's ever been inside of me has gone into it.
What is it, a medical dictionary?
No, it's my second book of poetry, Vol 2.
Oh, I never knew you'd written Vol 1.
No, that's because I wrote under a pen name.
Oh. Oh, what is your pen name, Ballpoint?
No. Fountain.
Yes. Kenneth J. Fountain. And I got the inspired title for the book from the fact that I used to get up at 6:30 in the morning to write these poems.
What's it called?
From bed to verse.
Good.
I recently written a poem dedicated to you, Joan.
Oh, Hugh, darling, read it to me.
Oh, well, all right. If you press me.
Oh, certainly, where?
Oh, she don't care, does she? Praise and then she'll forward with it.
Right that I see.
It's called A Wish for Johnnie by H. Paddick.
Oh, Hugh, that was lovely.
Gets even better. I wish I was a daffodil in bloom, and then my Joan would pick me and take me to her room. In front of me, she'd lock the door while I'm in the pot. She thinks I am a daffodil. She'll soon find out I'm not.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, you fool, he never wrote that. It's a straight nick from Robert Browning, that is. I know, I had it in my autograph book at school.
Oh, all right, then, if you can do better, read us one of yours.
I thought you'd never ask.
I'm already sorry I did.
Young Lil, full of great expectation, wed Fred from the RAF station. As they climbed into bed, she kissed him and said...
It's time for my bit of narration.
Your what?
My announcement. I usually announce at this point.
But you could have ruined my reputation as a poet.
I suspect, Mr. Williams, I may well have saved it. Now it's Cracker Jack and Ori with Mother Time, and with her storybook under one arm and a collapsible bed under the other, here is Mary Maud Nethersoul.
Hello, Tinies, and Biggies too. Last night, I was looking at something simply enormous. A map of Africa. So here is a story from the African veldt. Once there was a porcupine called Hilda, who wanted to be a bunny girl. So she said to her mother, "Find me a bunny on a feed Mama Bunny now." "Rubbish," said her mother. "Your ears aren't big enough. And think how absurd you'd look in fishnet tights with all those quills sticking through. Now go out and find a little friend to play with, and this time put your glasses on." She said this because Hilda had spent the previous day trying to make friends with a prickly pear. and couldn't understand why he never came up to scratch. Now, there aren't many games that porcupines can play. Leapfrog is out of the question. Likewise, sardines. So she forgot her dreams of becoming a bunny girl. Instead, she got a job as a waitress in Cardiff, where she's very happy serving Welsh rabbits. But now, our song. Here's one I learned on safari while tracking a bison. With no luck, I'm afraid, so we all had to wash in the bucket. A handsome young Zulu once met such a Lulu, the prettiest he'd ever known. She was wearing one bead in a place where you need rather more than one bead on its own. So they walked by the white Zambezi, and she said when her eyes met his, "Don't start acting too free and easy, 'cause that bead's gonna stay where it is." So he talked to her mother, her father, her brother, and shortly he made her his bride. Her marital price was a large bag of rice and a goat which was slightly boss-eyed. But soon after he asked for a refund and explained to her dad with a cough, although she looks fine with her bead on, she looks dreadful when she takes it off.
And so we come to our regular feature, Feeble Fables, stories with a moral.
My name is Edgar Allan Chambers. I'm landlord of the village inn. It all started one dark and stormy night when suddenly a pretty girl opened and a door walked in.
Good evening. Could you give me a room and a bath?
Well, I don't know about a room, but get your clothes off and I'll start the water running.
Landlord, I wish to take accommodation while I search for my missing brother, Norman Jervis.
Norman Jervis? Did you say Norman Jervis?
Yes.
Ah, good. That means my hearing aid is working. Ah, yeah, well, the batteries have been a bit dodgy.
Tell me, old man, do you know of him?
Ah, and you were last seen alive walking up the hill to the castle.
Can you take me there?
Oh, the castle? None of us terrified villagers goes near the castle. Professor Baskerville lives up there conducting his ghastly experiments.
There's weeping and wailing.
And things that go bump in the night.
What things?
Well, I'm not sure, but I think the professor falls out of bed a lot.
And you'd weep and wail as well if you kept falling out of bed.
I am not afraid. I shall go up to the castle and seek out my brother. As I made my way up to the castle, it was lucky I had my plastic pixie hood, which I had borrowed from a plastic pixie in our front garden at home in England. At last, I arrived at the massive mahogany wood front door and knocked. After After what seemed an eternity, the huge door creaked open. And there, before me stood the butler, a menacing giant of a man, with strange glazed eyes and massive shoulders. He spoke.
Hello. If you're one of those people selling life insurance, you come to the wrong place.
I'm looking for my brother, Norman Jervis.
Norman Jervis? That name rings a bell. Yes, see, I told you it did. It also means the professor is calling me.
Where is the professor?
Follow me.
He led me across the vast marble hallway, our footsteps echoing in this dank and eerie atmosphere. He opened a small mahogany door, which led to a long, narrow, panelled passage, lit only by shafts of moonlight filtering through the creaking shutters. Then another door. And another. And we continued up a flight of uncarpeted stairs, which led on and on and on until we finally reached a flight of carpeted stairs. In the silence, I pondered upon the mysterious disappearance of my brother Norman Jervis until another door. And we were walking along a stone balcony, the stillness of the night disturbed only by the occasional hooting of an owl. Another door. And we began to climb a spiral staircase. Onward and onward, upward and upward, until finally we saw in front of us the door of the laboratory, and the butler stopped and said...
And you always talk to yourself when you're walking along.
He opened the door of the laboratory.
There you go, you're talking to yourself again.
Oh, sorry. Professor, I am Felicity Jervis. What have you done with my brother Norman?
Miss Jervis, your brother Norman is dead. I killed him.
Oh, but why? Why? Was it to use his body for one of your fiendish experiments? Was it in the cause of so-called science? Was it to use various parts of his person to help to build an inhuman monster, to add to your army of the living dead who will activate your plan to one day rule and dominate the world? Is that why you killed him? Is it? Is it?
Well, no, not really. I just didn't like him very much.
Professor, I wish to take his body back to England so that he can be interred in the Jervis family tomb.
Certainly, my dear. And if you're in any sort of a hurry, my butler will dig up the coffin immediately.
And the moral of this week's story is... Here, hang on. There isn't one. There's no moral.
No moral?
No, quick, Douglas. Think of something to say. Anything.
Norman Jervis will be exhumed as soon as possible. Now, problem corner.
My name is Clarence J. Mouse, partner, and I think I'm going...
You've only just come.
I haven't finished. I think I'm going out of my mind on account of the problem I've got. It's more than a man can bear.
What is it?
Static electricity in my private life. Yes, it is. And it's very upsetting for my lady wife, too. I mean, put yourself in her position.
I'd rather not.
No one minds a little shock now and then, but when it comes to sparks...
Have you had yourselves properly earthed?
Earthing's no good.
Wear gumboots, they said, and always keep one foot on the floor. I mean, not contortionist, am I? There's times when you can't.
There must be, yes.
Now, you try having a bath in gumboots, keeping one foot on the floor. The other boot gets full of water.
If I asked you if you knew the cause of all this, I suppose you'd say the answer was in the negative.
No, I wouldn't. It's caused by wearing man-made fibres. So now all my garments come from a factory which only employs women.
Does that help?
Does a bit, yes. But now I've got another little problem.
Oh, dear, what's that?
Well, I feel such a fool in a see-through nightie.
Statistics tell us that more and more people are spending their Sunday afternoons gardening. But what about the people without gardens? Well, they just have to amuse themselves indoors. And one way is by raising indoor plants. For example, take Sid and Rita Dipfinger.
Sid, I'm a bit worried about my Floribunda exotica monster rosa, dear.
Well, we're none of us perfect, Rita. As a matter, I rather like it.
No, dear, I mean that pot plant in the hall. I think they've been overfeeding it. I should never have given it that slice of treacle pudding. And I don't like the look of that cactus much either.
I've never liked the look of that cactus. It's not very nice, Rita. Won't you put some clothes on it?
Well, I tried knitting it a vest, dear, but I couldn't get it on because of the prickle. I'll tell you what, I'll shove it behind the busy Lizzie, then you won't notice it.
Well, the busy Lizzie will. She's busy enough. Already sharing a pot with your wandering sailor. Put him in the bedroom alongside your old maid's folly.
Oh, not while he's putting out tendrils, dear. I wouldn't feel safe in me bed.
You never do, except when I'm working nights.
Don't stop me! I'll forget what I'm talking about.
Oh, who wants to talk?
But seriously, look, about my Floribunda exotica monster rosa. I think you ought to know that I had to fetch the doctor round yesterday.
Oh, Richard, it hasn't bitten the postman again.
No, dear, no, but the fact is, Sid, he did a few tests. And we're going to have to turn the spare room into a nursery.
Now our song spot. I'm sure you'll agree that some singers can transform a mere song into a sublime artistic experience. And some can't. To prove my point, here is the maxi-length Harris male voice choir.
It's Bona to open up your ear and sing.
It's Bona to hear the Omi voices ring.
In harmony. Oh, hello! And a big thank you to all fans who've sent in tokens of their esteem, especially Mrs. Winifred Hoist of Crouch End.
Are ever so windy for the homemade cakes, love.
Lay louder, dear. Louder, in case you've got a red in the oven.
Oh, yes. Top of the cakes, Win, love. What a dainty thought.
Dainty.
Yes, very. 6 maids of honour with our names writ on in ballpoint.
Excuse me.
Oh, hello. I thought you was having a lay down on the roof and dropped off.
Not at all.
Oh.
But when you start singing, I'll probably be glad to jump.
Oh, Mistress Quickly, straight out the Merry Wives of Windsor. Aye. That is your actual classical joke. I'm not just a pretty face.
That is quite obvious. What are you going to sing?
Well, Chuck, this week we've got a little offering from the ballad Sylvia by Delibes.
Delibes!
Just the pizzicato bit.
That'll be plenty.
Oh, no, don't want the offering.
Bit of pizzicato played
On strings is one of almost everybody's favourite things.
You couldn't have a pizzicato played
On brass, there's far too much vibrato in the brass for pizzicato, so for pizzicatoing no need a violin. You also need an eek that has a nice big chin
beneath which you can tuck it.
and a hand so you can pluck it if you ever want forget it, cause you can't begin. Oh, I beautiful. Yeah. Down your round there. Yes, love one.
Thank you. It's time for the Smith Report. This week's topic, crime. Should there be a law against it? What does the man in the street have to say?
Well, I think the British government ought to nationalise crime. It's the only way to make sure it doesn't pay.
So much for public opinion, but what are the views of an expert?
As a High Court judge presiding over the Outer London Court of Sessions, I have recently been involved in a case which upset me tremendously. It was the case of a peeping Tom, a man who ran up and down the beach at Bognor, suddenly opening the doors of bathing huts in the hope of seeing the bronzed, gleaming thighs. Yes, of pretty young girls flashing in the summer sunshine. Very unfortunate case, and I got 6 months.
Criminals are in a class of their own. They have their own customs, their own jargon, even their own pop music. And here is the criminals' top 5.
Hi there, pocket pickers. Straight in at number 5 comes the great mailbag robbers, and isn't it a lousy day to be caught in the train? Still at number 4, Jellic Night and Day by the Safe Blowers. Up 16 places this week to a fantastic number 3, the Prison Officers Association sing Oh, 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 what a lovely water. Pushed from last week's top place in this week's number 2, a protest song from Boozy Driver, Police, Release Me, Let Me Go. And here it is, this week's number 1, this week's top of the cop chops from Klepto and the Maniacs.
A million housewives every day pick up a can of beans and say,
Honest, I meant to pay for it. I just forgot it was in my handbag.
Statistics tell us that the majority of crimes are committed by men. But throughout history, there have been many infamous women. And we have in the studio the original sinner of them all, Eve. Here she is talking to our reporter, Fife McFinger Exercise.
Eve, you don't mind if I call you by your first name. Right.
Well, you haven't got a lot of choice, really, have you?
No. Now, this sin that you committed, what exactly did you do?
I ate an apple.
Oh, I see.
I was the original, you know. I did it first, and nowadays everybody's at it. Eating apples all over the place.
But what is wrong with eating apples?
Well, you just think about the well-known saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. There's more to that than meets the eye. And the other phrase is, I've had a skinful. And have a nibble.
Yes, quite. And what happened to you when you ate the apple?
Oh, it was terrible. Me and my hubby were evicted from this lovely garden where we lived, and we had to put on fig leaves and...
Yes, that's always puzzled me. Why particularly fig leaves?
Well, you try it with stinging nettles and see how you feel.
Stop Messing About with Kenneth Williams, Hugh Paddick, Joan Sims and the Max Harris Group. The script was by Myles Rudge and David Cumming and Derek Collier. The producer was John Simmons.
Prisoner at the bar, you have pleaded guilty to the charge of riding a bicycle without lights after the hours of darkness and have asked for 17 other offences to be taken into consideration.
Yes, Your Honour.
And what are these offences?
12 murders, 4 blackmail, and a great train robbery.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present Kenneth Williams, Hugh Paddick and Joan Sims in...
No, stop messing about. Oh, hello and welcome. Well, they've given me such a funny line to start off with this week. Well, honestly. And what...
Oh, hello, Ken.
What's the matter with you?
Oh, I've got a terrible hangover.
Yes, I noticed when you were sitting on that stool in the canteen.
Hello, oh, my head. Oh, I need a hair of the dog.
Oh, the way you're going thin on top, you'll need several. Ooh, several hairs, thin on top. If you'd all pay your licence, we could afford better jokes.
Oh, but Joan, what a wonderful night we spent together.
Oh, like that was it? And they don't care who knows. Brazen, isn't it?
We spent the night together in the company of a number of other people.
Kinky!
In fact, we were voted the liveliest couple on the floor.
Oh! Was it a dance?
No, pyjama party.
Oh! And who gave it then? And why wasn't I invited?
Well, face it, Ken, you're not really a swinger.
I can swing it as well as the next fella. What are you talking about? I think it's disgusting. Going to a party without me. I mean, who could be so rotten, so devious as to invite you two without offering me the pleasure? I just think it's awful.
Actually, Mr. Williams, it was me. And I did invite you, but you said you were washing your hair.
Oh, yes, but I hardly expected a party of yours to be ring-a-ding-ding.
Well, wrong-a-dong-dong. So there. It was a right, if you'll pardon the expression, rave-up.
Yeah!
But I have managed to prop open my eyes with matchsticks in order to read the following announcement. Now it's Cracker Jack and Ollie with Mother Time, which this week has moved north of the border.
High time, if you ask me.
I didn't. And here with a sprig of white heather in her bonnet and a homemade haggis in her reticule is Bonnie wee Maud Nelson.
Hello, Tinies, and Biggies too. And long may your little lums reek. Today's story is about a cow. She was an Aberdeen Angus called Flora, who was very sad. She so much wanted to go to the Hogmanay ball, but she couldn't find anyone to escort her, and she didn't want the others saying, "Who's that poor cow all on her own?" Howsoever, one frosty night at milking time, Flora was just wishing the farmer would warm his hands first when she heard a strange noise behind the milk churn. It was a little old lady in high-button boots and a felt hat who was waving an empty milk jug and crying, "Oh, the milkman must let me down again." So Flora said, "Dinna fash yourself, hen. Have a pinter on me, the loo." And then, what do you think? The little old lady changed into a beautiful Scottish fairy with a tinsel tam-o'-shanter and sequins all over her sporran. She waved her magic wand, and before you could say, "Many a mickle, max a muckle," she had turned Flora into a pumpkin. "Oh," said the fairy, "I've made a right muckle of that." But now for our song. Here's what I learned when I went for a tramp in the Trossachs. He said he was called Old Reekie, and frankly, I'm not surprised. Bonnie wee Angus said to me, "Let's go walking up the glen." Well, I was wondering, do you ken what Angus meant? But after he'd walked me up the glen, he only walked me down again. So I really can't imagine why we went. Bonnie wee Angus said to me, "Let's go roaming down the brae. Lassie, the brae's a most romantic place to roam." So we went roaming down the brae, and I'm really forced to say we'd have done much better if we'd stayed at home. Bonnie wee Angus said to me, "Let's go wandering by the loch." Och, and my patience by this time was wearing thin. So I said, "Angus, tell me true, can you swim?" And he said, "No." Well, I said, "It's time you learned," and pushed him in.
So we come to our regular feature, Feeble Fables, stories with a moral. Our story this week is set in the South Sea Islands.
My name is Virginia Tipped. I'm a cigarette girl. I make a packet, selling fags to rich tourists who come to our club in Tahiti, the Waving Palms, named after the doorman and the waiter, who are always after a tip. But my favorite customer was an impoverished artist called Wolf Whistler. He used to haggle with me over the price of cigarettes, and in the end, I found myself giving him more than I'd bargained for.
Oh, Virginia.
Oh, Wolf. What we're doing is wanton.
Yeah, I'm the one who's wanting it.
But I'm afraid. So afraid.
Oh, come on. Who's afraid of Wolf, Virginia?
Not afraid of you, of my husband, Angelo. He is head of the notorious criminal organization that controls the local grass skirt industry.
You mean the Raffia Mafia?
Oh dear, what a terrible joke. I'm glad I'm not in this scene.
But we love each other. Virginia, this thing is bigger than both of us.
If I had been in the scene, that line would have been censored.
As I was saying,
My husband, if he finds us together, he'll murder you. He's a huge, vicious brute of a man with a grip of steel, cold killer's eyes and broad, massive shoulders. And if he came through that door right now, he'd say...
Hello. I am Angelo, the head of the notorious criminal organisation that controls the canteen supplies to the local Women's Air Force Station.
You mean?
Yes, the Mafia. Well, the jokes are no better when I am in the scene.
Angelo!
Yes. How is it that I find you in a compromising position with this man? I ask you, Virginia, how is it?
Well, up to now, it's been quite nice.
Oh, I'm sick of it, honest. Round here is like the perfumed garden.
Angelo, I love Virginia.
Be on the boat to the mainland first thing tomorrow. Oh, I'll be so angry. I'll stamp my foot right on your face.
Wolf knew that for his own safety he should leave the island, and every day he would get down as far as the harbour, but because of his love for me, he couldn't bring himself to catch the boat. Meanwhile, Angelo was plotting with his henchmen to get rid of Wolf.
Now, the idea is...
Yes, boss?
You to take this box of nitroglycerin down to Whistler's beach hut, tie it under his rocking chair, but be very, very careful with it on your way there.
Yes, boss?
Right then. Off you go. What a helpful henchman. Now, what's his nickname? Ah, yes. Butterfingers. Now, the idea is for me to wait here in Whistler's Beach holding this hand grenade. And when he comes through the door, I'll pull out the pin and chuck it at him. Yeah, here he comes now. I pull out the pin. He opens the door. Come in. Come in. Come in.
How is he, Doctor?
Well, he's taken a nasty bang. But he's going to be all right.
Oh, Angelo, I realise now that it's you I love. We'll start a new life, have a house of our own, perhaps even a little one.
Right, if you prefer a bungalow. But what about Wolf Whistler?
He's gone for good. He left for the mainland this morning.
Oh, no, I didn't. I got to the jetty too late and the ship had already sailed.
Oh, I can't take any more. This happens every day.
And the moral of this week's story is...
No, stop missing the boat.
Problem Corner. Once again, we come face to face with one of life's little tragedies. In the person of our Problem Man of the Week.
My name is Clarence J. Mouse, partner, and I keep getting this conviction.
Then stop doing it.
Haven't finished. This conviction that the whole world is against me due to the fact that people keep pinching my masterpiece.
I am sorry.
You see, some years ago, whilst having a bath, I made this remarkable discovery which has altered my whole life.
Congratulations.
Thank you. In fact, it was a milestone.
In your bath?
No, in my career. You see, it was a note.
From whom? Someone waiting to use the bath?
No. A musical note. You see, our bathroom has very unique acoustics. The geyser doesn't work, but the acoustics are without parallel. This enabled me to discover this note. Would you like to hear it?
I'd love to. But, don't you need a bath?
No, I had one last night, thank you. But a piano would help me to get going.
Certainly, if that's what turns you on. By the way, has your note got a name?
Oh, yes. I decided to name it after the man who discovered it, like Rhodesia.
You don't mean you've called it Mouse Partner Easier? Well, why don't you sing it for us?
Oh, with great pleasure. I'll just do my little intro first. Do,
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, Clarence J. Miles' partner. That's beautiful, isn't it?
Exquisite. But haven't I heard it before somewhere?
That's what they all say. You know what I think, don't you?
No, what?
They've been sneaking to my house for a quiet earful.
What makes you think that?
Oh, just lately all the music's gone out of my bathroom.
We hear many heartwarming tales of people doing all they can to help their neighbours, like lending them a packet of tea without asking for a banker's reference. But how far does neighbourliness go? Well, this problem bothers many of us, especially Sid and Rita Dipfinger.
I've had another visit from that Mr. Norris next door, dear. He's been trying it on again.
Not again, Rita. Oh, and he has the nerve to call himself a vegetarian.
Exactly, dear.
Oh.
Came in here bold as brass and asked if he could borrow our staircase.
I hope you didn't lend it to him, Rita. He never brought back my sink plunger, you know. I'm surprised you let him in the door.
Oh, I didn't. He came through the wall.
That's a bit of a liberty, coming through the wall. Did he knock? Did he knock, Rita?
Oh, yes, he was knocking for hours before he actually come. Said something about being trapped by fallen masonry.
Oh, just an excuse, Rita. But what did Mr. Norris want to make a hole for?
Well, he
Rita?
said it was to rescue Mrs. Norris.
Oh.
She's been trapped on their landing, he said, hanging from the banister.
Oh, Rita, that's stretching things a bit, isn't it?
That's just what I said to Mr. Norris. She's no business to be hanging from the banisters at 4:30 of an afternoon. My husband wouldn't stand for it, I said.
Oh, neither would our banister.
Oh, don't start me up! Oh, I forget what I'm supposed to be doing.
Don't worry, I'll think of something.
No, but seriously, about the Norrises, they've no right to come bursting in just 'cause they live next door.
Well, I don't think they'll be there much longer, Rita.
Oh, how's that, Sid?
Well, I was meaning to tell you their house is on fire.
Time now for our song spot, and our singers this week are a group who need no introduction from me, so they aren't going to get one. Maxi Length Harris Male Voice Choir.
It's Bona to open up your eek and sing.
It's Bona to hear the Omi voices ring.
In harmony.
Hello.
Thank you. And I'd like to make it known that my friend here has an announcement to make. He wants to apologise, don't you? Go on.
Yes.
Go on then. Go on.
Are you listening when last...
Louder, Ducky. She'll never hear that in Crouch End. Pitch it up. Now, pitch it up. Go on.
yes. Sorry about last Friday, Win Love. We never showed up for your fish tea and sing song.
No, she does a lovely fish tea,
Bona,
Ducky. Straight out of the Crouch End Gazette and onto your plate.
No.
Yes, but you had other fish to fry, didn't you?
Well, not exactly fish.
No, more's the pity. Went up west, didn't you?
Yes.
And tell her for why.
Well, I saw this advert for one of these big stores, and it said, I can't.
Go on, get it out. Get it out.
No.
Go on.
No.
Go on. Purge yourself, fool. Go on, purge yourself.
No, I do.
Go on, tell her, what did the advert say?
Shall I?
Yes, go on, tell her what it said.
It said male sale.
Male sale, Ducky, and he fell for it, didn't you? Fell for it, he did. Yes,
I didn't know where I put myself.
Well, why don't you put yourself into a sock?
Oh, Mary Poppins popping in.
Thank you. And before I pop out again, I'd like to know the name of this week's vocal gem.
Well, Chuck, it's a trio from the Mikado.
Trio from Mikado.
Trio from the Mikado. Yes, that's what it is. But we do it a bit different.
Yeah.
You'd have to, as there's only two of you.
She notices.
I hope it won't land you in the doily car.
It's kind of close. Anyway, nowadays, what about you? Doily car. Chic, though.
Two little homies on the troll,
Under the flowered parasol, both as boner as can be.
and wish that we was three.
Speak for yourself, Ducky.
I was
Oh, you're brazen with it.
out for an evening way up west.
You took hours getting dressed.
Well, I had to change my vest.
You don't think it's going to show?
Well, Chuck, you never know.
It's still improving.
Might do a theatre or a movie.
Don't wave an handkerchief, it's poovy.
I wasn't waving it, I was dusting the talc off my see-through shirt.
Well, at least wait till someone's trying to see through it. Honestly. Oh, what will the night unfold for two little homies bold?
Now it's time for the Smith Report. The Smith Report looks at radio, which, let's face it, is better than listening to it. Radio, is it merely entertainment with knobs on? And what does the man in the street have to say?
I'm a great admirer of the BBC. Great. Wasn't it Lord Reith who said, "Nation shall speak peace unto nation"? Yes, just before the Second World War.
But what are the views of an expert?
I'm an expert, I'll tell you. The beauty of radio is that it's the theatre of the mind. In a radio play, one can imagine from the voice the slim-limbed, full-bosomed young woman flashing her thighs in the summer sunlight, and you can see in your mind every movement of her lithe body, every nuance as she takes a shower and has a bath or gets into bed. And then you look in the Radio Times and find that her bag you made it at a theatrical garden party.
But the BBC continues with such popular radio shows as Step-Turn Son, Not in Front of the Children, and Dr. Finley's Casebook. These are occasionally interrupted by 18 hours a day of news and current events, and a weekly ration of 387 panel games.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to another edition of Spot the Wonder Dog. We have in the studio our 137 challenges, consisting of film starlet Gloria Lalulia
Hello.
and the Luton Girls Choir. So, on with the game. I hope you all know the rules, because I don't. Each contestant is allowed 2 mistakes, and last week Gloria had a spectacular pair of boobs. So, on with the game. If you hear a sound like this, it means everybody hold it. If you hear a sound like this, you're allowed to put your hand up. And finally, if you hear a sound like this, it means the studio's on fire. So, on with the game.
The first object is radishes. I repeat that.
Rhubarb is... I think that rhubarb... When rhubarb was... Is rhubarb the... Any rhubarb... Oh, get...
The BBC Stacey has always strongly contested the introduction of commercial radio to this country. Will it follow the American pattern as demonstrated in this excerpt?
Oh, Harry. Harry.
Oh, Sylvie.
Harry! Sylvie!
Bernie!
Bernie! So caught you at it at last.
Bernie, what's that in your hand?
A gun. It's a Winchester 45 6-chamber automatic with a new easy squeeze trigger. And I know how to use it.
Bernie, don't shoot. Think of the good times. Think of the children. Think of the mess on the carpet. But you can soon clear that up with the miracle carpet cleaner, Tuft. Yes, anyone who can't get their carpet clean gets Tuft.
Stand back, Sylvie. I got a gun, too.
Harry, you've killed him. You've killed him. What am I going to do?
Dial 01890-770-539 for Imogen's instant funerals. If you gotta go Imogen's. And don't forget our new easy payment plan. Yes, die now, pay later.
That was Stop Messing About with Kenneth Williams, Hugh Paddick, Joan Sims and the Max Harris Group. The script was by Myles Rudge and David Cumming and Derek Collier. The programme is produced by Simon Brett and John Simmons.
Why aren't you out in the playground with the others? What are you doing here in the classroom?
Nothing, sir. Honest, I'm not doing nothing.
What's that you're hiding behind your back? Are you smoking, boy? Is that a cigarette?
Yes, sir.
Oh, give us a drag. There's a good lad. I've known for a day.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present Kenneth Williams, Hugh Paddick and Joan Sims in...
Stop messing about. Well, I couldn't think of anything funny for me to start off with this week, so they said, you go on there and pull something out of the blue, off the top of your head. Well, it's not easy, even for a raconteur and wit like myself.
Hello, Ken.
Hello, Ken.
Oh, hello, it's the lovebirds.
Oh, Joan, I do love you terribly.
I know, but I'm sure you'll improve with practice.
Here they go again. They mean it, it's not acting.
Oh, Hugh, I love every little thing about you.
I know, darling, but there's no need to tell everyone about it.
So, where are you going to celebrate this momentous occasion?
Tonight's our night for the evening classes.
Yes, I'm studying sculpture. I'm halfway through one now.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, it's a bust.
Is that all? Just a bust? No head and shoulders, the rest of the body?
A bust is the head and shoulders.
If I were you, I'd give up sculpture and take up anatomy.
I'm doing watercolours.
No.
Well, last term I painted a picture of a male nude.
With a live model?
Yes.
Really? How big was it?
Standard canvas. 15 by 20.
Fascinating.
Here, this model. Here. Did he really pose with nothing on at all?
Yes, Mr. Williams, as a matter of fact, I did.
Douglas! It wasn't you.
Well, it's 7 and 6 an hour and I need the money. grossly underpaid for the superlative services I render the corporation. I work my epiglottis.
Oh, ease off. Oh, shut up and make an announcement.
Both together.
Oh, bold.
This week, Crackerjack and Ori with Mother takes a trip up the Rhine. And so, with her Michelin guide in one hand and a large liver sausage in the other, here is Fräulein Maud von Nethersoul.
Guten Tag, meinen Kleinen und meinen Großen auch. Which means, of course, good day, my smalls, and my enormouses as well. There isn't German fun. Today's story is an old Teutonic myth, which I heard from an old Teutonic myther. Yes. There was once a Valkyrie called Edith, who often forgot to warm her breastplate before she put it on. So when the other Valkyries sang, ho, ha, hoo, Edith sang, ho, ha, hoo! Yes, which is why she was banished from Valhalla and given a fortnight's wages in lieu, which she wrapped in a copy of the Dusseldorf Gazette, which happened to be hanging on the wall. Well, after wandering for a while, she met a gnome who was called Rumpel-Tightskin, for reasons I'd rather not go into. It turned out he was one of the gnomes of Zurich, but he'd had to leave home because his gilt edge was below par and his debentures had suddenly dropped. However, when he saw the size of Edith's collateral, he said he had a very interesting proposition to put to her. And he said, "Certainly not," replied Edith, who was worried about inflation and didn't want to get caught in the credit squeeze. But the gnome offered such a high rate of interest that in the end she agreed. And then, what do you think? The gnome turned her into a limited company, which doubled her turnover in no time. Next week, Tinies, I'll be telling you how her Deutschmark was devalued and why. But meanwhile, our song. Here's one from the Bavarian border, which they sing while treading the grapes, to try and take their minds off the pips between their toes. Oh, Alphonse loves Liesel, but Liesel loves Fritz. But Fritz says that Lottie just thrills him to bits. But Lottie has told me that she loves Alphonse, so nobody's getting what everyone wants. If Alphonse loved Lottie and Fritz could begin to try to love Liesel like Liesel loves him, then they'd all discover that everything fits for Lottie and Alphonse and Liesel and Fritz. So I put it to Lottie, 'cause I knew she'd tell Alphonse, who'd tell Liesel, who'd tell Fritz as well. And all of them said, "What a clever idea! But mind your own business and don't interfere."
Statistics tell us that remarkably few lodgers are actually called Roger. And if you don't know why, far be it from me to tell you. But obviously, if you take a stranger into your home, he may be stranger than you thought. Consider the case of Sid and Rita Dipfinger.
Sid, I'm a bit worried about our new lodger, dear. He keeps getting these letters addressed to Mr. Hyde, care of Dr. Jekyll. I hope he's not ambidextrous, dear.
No, Rita, though I haven't noticed he's got 2 different toothbrushes.
Oh, and when I went up to his room just now, he said, "You can't come in because I'm changing." Then I heard these funny noises, Sid.
Funny noises, Rita. Funny noises. Rita. He's only been here 2 days. Well, you should never have given him that meat risole.
Well, then he rushes onto the landing all covered in hair and sprouting a couple of fangs there.
Fangs, Rita?
Yes, one on each side of his face.
Oh, well, that would account for the 2 toothbrushes. One for each fang, I think.
Yes, then he gives a agonised cry and he's out through the front door without even bothering to open it.
Oh, no, Rita. Oh, that risole of yours has got a lot to answer for. They have that effect on me sometimes.
Well, I think there's something funny about him. I can't actually put my finger on it.
Better not try, Rita. We did that with the last lodger and look what happened. Behind with the rent and forward with everything else.
Oh, don't stop me! I'll never be able to concentrate on the telly.
Oh, well, we can always turn the sound off.
Oh, no, but seriously, if you ask me, our lodger is leading a double life, Sid, and it's only a single room. He'll have to go.
He seems a nice enough fella. Well, one of them does.
I can't help that, Sid. You'll have to give him notice.
But why, Rita?
Well, I found out he dyes his hair.
It's time to meet our problem man of the week.
My name is Clarence J. Mouse, partner. Though I prefer to remain anonymous.
I don't blame you.
I haven't finished. Though I prefer to remain anonymous, I feel it is my duty to reveal my identity so that others with the same problem will take heart.
I think that's very courageous of you.
So do I. You see, I'm one of those poor unfortunates who have a Brussels sprout problem. I've said it.
Yes, you have. I wonder what it means.
It means that for years I've had this awful craving for Brussels sprouts. First I kept it down to 3 a day, one after each meal. For the sake of my loved ones, you understand.
Of course.
But then I began wanting more. The nights were the worst. I've often had to tramp the streets looking for an all-night greengrocer.
Did you ever find one?
I didn't know. So I used to keep £half hidden away in the wardrobe. It was then that my lady wife discovered my guilty secret.
I'm not surprised.
Yes. We had a plague of caterpillars in the bedroom. So I said to myself, Clarence J., I said, where is your self-respect? Where is your Dunkirk spirit?
Oh, were you at Dunkirk?
No, but I saw the film. And then I struck myself a blow across the face to pull myself together, you understand. Matter of fact, I knocked myself over. I wasn't expecting it, you see.
Of course not, yes.
No. And then I made my big decision.
Oh, good.
Yes, I started taking lessons in judo so I'd be able to protect myself from myself. And I had to give up Brussels sprouts because they ruin your wind.
So I've heard. Well, I'm sure your story will give new hope to all our listeners.
I do hope so.
Especially those living in Brussels.
Yes. The trouble is, now I've got another little problem.
Well, what's that?
Well, you don't happen to have a cauliflower on you, do you?
Which brings us to our song spot. And to those who like their music cool, smooth, and smoochy, I can only say, hard luck. Because it's time to meet the Maxi Length Harris Male Voice Choir.
It's Bona to open up your ear and sing.
It's Bona to hear the Omi voices ring.
In harmony. And I'd like to tell all lovers of male voice choirs that me and my friend are available for banquets, aren't we?
Banquets, yes, available.
Available,
Yes, but of course we charge extra if we have to do the washing up after.
Certainly, Ducky. I mean, who wants to know me with dishpan hands?
Yes. Oh, indeed.
Aye, that roughens it, doesn't it, though?
Indescribable. I mean, that function we done last week played havoc with me cuticles.
Yes, wasn't only your cuticles it played havoc with, was it?
No. Me Buffon went for a Burton as well.
Now tell him for why.
No, I can't.
Go on,
No,
tell him
I
for
can't,
why.
no.
Tell him.
Don't
tell
take
him.
that out of me.
Tell him.
No.
Tell him what you did at
No.
the annual dinner of the Crouch End Allotment Holders Association. Go on. Tell him. Get it out. Get it out.
Oh, all right. Well, see, I offered to lend him a hand with the flower arrangement, you see.
Does lovely flower
Oh, a
arrangements,
boner
he
bunch.
does.
A boner.
Lovely. You learned how to do it in the army, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I learned it from this fella in the paratroopers.
Never mind him.
Why not?
Never mind, don't bring him up.
Why?
Not the time nor the place. Not the time nor the place. Now then, tell him what it was you went and shoved in all the allotment holders' cut glass vases.
Oh, I can't.
Tell him what you
It's too
shoved in their
hurtful.
vases. Tell him what you shoved in their vases.
No.
It was the first course of their dinner, wasn't it?
Well, how was I to know it was asparagus?
Oh! You rape custard!
Call me names.
You custard showing me up
spirit.
before the cream of the Crouch End International set. Oh, I just wanted the ground. I just wanted the ground to swallow me up.
Well, I expect that could be arranged.
Oh, meet Miss Miriam Bright. Oh, the Undertaker's auntie.
But before you leave us, what are you going to sing?
Well, Chuck, we was thinking of taking a little liberty with Offenbite.
Yeah, great Nana Offenbach.
Bach.
Bach.
Oh, yes, that's Dutch,
Right.
isn't it?
Yeah, so which bit of Offenbach were you thinking of taking a liberty with?
Is can, Chuck.
Oh, well, as the French say, them as can, and them as can't, we'll just have to make the best of it.
He's quick with it, isn't he? Quick as a flash.
Offenbach would often park his bicycle outside our gate,
So that no one could get through it, though we asked him not to do it.
So one evening after dark, when Offenbach was rather late,
We let down the tyres on the bike of Offenbach.
then we waited down the road in gaily trips.
All elated, putting on his cycle clips.
Gives a cough and fit without the slightest fuss.
Pedals off, go slap into a bus. Now he can't do the can, he can't do the can, he can't lift his lally-dacky.
He'd be lucky,
So, if you want high kickers,
who won't split their knickers. Here's to homies who can.
can.
Now it's time for the Smith Report. Later in this edition, we'll be discussing hovercrafts. Are they all plain sailing? Which brings us to this week's main topic. The Smith Report investigates marriage, recently defined as a mutual partnership in which the husband is the mute. What does the man in the street have to say?
Well, I've been told that the best kind of girl to marry is Japanese girl. They're obedient, respectful, hard-working, and your mother-in-law's in Yokohama.
I'm still single because I read in a book once that people with opposite characteristics make the best marriages.
Really?
Yes, so I'm still looking for a man with a lot of money.
But what are the views of an expert?
As a divorce court judge, I find that modern young women are the main cause of broken marriages. Who can blame a chap for going off the rails when he sees all these mini-skirted, full-bosomed, lithe-bodied young girls flashing their thighs in the summer sunshine? And it's getting worse. These days they're wearing see-through blouses. I ask you, see-through blouses. If I had my way, I'd get rid of them altogether.
The idea of marriage is instilled into us at a very early age. In fact, many children's games are based on this concept.
Georgie, let's play mothers and fathers.
Play what?
Mothers and fathers. That's a supplicant. Not the way I play it.
To investigate a very important aspect of married life, over to our roving reporter, Fife McFinger Exercise, in an abridged version of Down Your Family Way.
Hello, I'm standing here outside a family planning clinic at Hampton Court in Middlesex. And as I enter the clinic through this door, I notice above it the cautionary motto of the organisation, "There's one born every minute." And standing here now inside, I am being approached by a young lady carrying a small bundle. Can I help you, madam?
I'm looking for the complaints department.
I see. Yes. Well, before you go, is there a piece of music you'd like to hear?
Yes, I should have danced all night.
I'm now standing in the office of the director of the clinic. Now tell me, sir, why do you think family planning is so important?
Well, as you probably know, statistics tell us that in this country, a woman gives birth every 3.5 minutes.
Well, surely the answer is to find this woman and stop her. Now tell me, madam, are all these children yours?
That they are, yes indeed, all 9 of them.
Oh, 9?
I had 4 by my first husband, 2 by my second husband, and 3 on my own.
One of the problems faced by parents is the generation gap. To try and bridge this gap, we present an excerpt from an arts programme in which young people communicate with other young people in a language they understand.
Now, cop this, right? I'm going to give you a poetry reading, right? I've, translated this load of old cobblers, what this old git writ down, into the lingo like what you and me talk normal, right? So undo your collar studs, loosen your braces, and settle down for a bit of your actual classics. There was an old woman what lived in a bother boot. She had so many little baskets running round the place. Well, it stands to reason she must have known what to do, mustn't she? Anyhow, this stupid old bat, she gives the kids a nosh up, don't she? I mean, like, gives them some broth, all right? Like, she's so mean, she don't give them no bread. I mean, nothing to mop the plate up with, like, harder. And if that ain't enough, what's she going to do then, eh? I'll tell you what she does then. She gives them a bit of the old aggro, like puts a boot in, sends her to bed. And that's it.
The wedding night has always been a rich source of material for humorists, but is the traditional honeymoon sketch still valid in the 1970s?
Mrs. Elsie Cutthorpe. Our little honeymoon haven.
Oh, Albert, it's a lovely room.
Well then, what were you going to do tonight?
Well, I thought we'd, you know, well, you know, like, you know.
But we did that this morning.
I've been looking forward to it. I've even bought a new see-through nightie special.
Well, I'm not going to see nothing through that I haven't seen before.
Oh, come on, Albert.
Oh.
Come and lay on the bed here beside me. There. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Oh, I thought it was a lovely wedding with the confetti and everything. Tell me you love me, Albert. Go on, Albert. Tell me. Go on, Albert. Say something. Right, that does it.
Hey, what's the matter? Where are you going?
I'm going to do something that I've wanted to do many times, but as we weren't married, I couldn't.
Oh, what's that then?
I'm going home to Mother.
That was Stop Messing About with Kenneth Williams, Hugh Paddick, Joan Sims and the Max Harris Group. The script was by Myles Rudge and David Cumming and Derek Collier. The producer was John Simmons.